Yeah, so as you probably heard a million times already, Sydney Sweeney has good genes. Congratulations, Sydney Sweeney. You're super hot and attractive, and you're doing a lot of money. And that's great. I honestly mean that. Yes, if you've been living under a rock, this has been all over the place. Even presidents talking about the good genes of Sydney Sweeney. And yes, they're talking about the pants, and she's talking about, yes, I have good genes, or my genes are blue, because she's a beautiful blue-eyed blondie woman that's making a lot of money with this. And I'm super happy for her. Congratulations on your good genes. I'm also interested on talking about other genes. And before anyone starts labeling me racist or all these nonsense, I'm talking about bad genes. This gentleman obviously is blonde. He has blue eyes. Not only that, he's a member of the royal family in Europe of one kind or another. And he hasn't got good genes. His eyes are blue, very much like Sydney Sweeney, but his genes are not good. You know why his genes are not good? Because of inbreeding, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Guys, if you want to learn more about survival and preparedness, if you want to go a little bit beyond the basic mouth-breathing, idiotic mindset of these people lately all over the world, I invite you to buy my books and read a little bit more about this stuff. So survival skills, surviving the economic collapse. These books will help you get to that, to that level that we need to do. We need to be better. You need to do better, sir. Yeah, we all need to do. We talk about genes. Have we talked enough about how hot Sydney Sweeney is? All right. Have we already specified that we're not being mean or racist or anything like that? We're just talking about genes? Okay. I'm talking about the bad genes of this blonde royal gentleman of the European royalty. What about the bad genes of this man right here? This is apparently a member of the royal family in Egypt at some time in history. Let's talk about the genes of this. Can we now talk about the bad genes of these gentlemen right here? Why? Well, they're obviously not attractive like Sydney Sweeney, but there's something else. And I'm showing you this because, yeah, she's super hot, but you know what? She's symmetrical. That's one of the things that human beings find attractive. You know why we find this attractive? And why we don't find this attractive? It's not because one of them is more tan than the other. It's lack of symmetry. You know why we don't find a lack of symmetry attractive? Because it's the trademark of inbreeding, of bad genes. It's the trademark of bad genes in these Asian, Middle Eastern, but let's call them Asian gentlemen, in them. And it's the trademark of bad genes in the blonde royal guy here as well. And when you see these gentlemen time and time and again, you start connecting the dots, and you don't need to be a genetic scientist to realize that they even like not being symmetrical themselves. Look at how they mess up their symmetry themselves, as if their faces didn't show enough of that already. They do that themselves. The lack of symmetry tells a story of inbreeding based on the studies. This is the Cambridge University Press, consanguineous marriages in Afghanistan. That is almost 50%. And it says, the study shows that Afghanistan populations, like other Islamic populations, have a high level of consanguinity, meaning they marry between cousins, even brother and sister at times, even within it is something that goes very much against what we in the Western world consider normal or healthy or even fucking repellent. But in places like Pakistan, it's 60 to 70%. You're talking about and you know what happens with this? You have bad genes. And you know what it means to have bad genes? You have low IQ. It keeps on getting lower and lower. The more you do this, the lower it gets. And these people are doing it nonstop. It is low IQ. And you know what it is? It's super interesting. It's violence. These people behave more violently among themselves and others because of their poor genes. The more inbreeding they have, the lower their IQ is, and the more violent they end up behaving. And you can tell it by their actions. That's why you see these asylum seekers behaving in the way they behave. You see it in their faces, because the lack of symmetry tells the story of how much inbreeding they have. And you know how much inbreeding they have? A shit ton of it. They've been doing it for generations. It's getting to this point where you notice it. You cannot, this is like trying to cover the sun with your thumb. You'll never do it. You'll never convince anyone with any kind of common sense that there's no connection here. It is scientific, and you can get as upset as you want, but I just proven to you with examples that this is just the way it is, right? Congratulations, Sydney Sweeney, but you know what, sweetheart? I'm a lot more worried about these genetic makeups that are inundating many countries all over the world.